Courtrooms are often seen as places of law and order, where justice is served and emotions are kept in check. But what happens when those emotions, anger, grief, and even defiance, break through the surface? These rare but unforgettable moments reveal the raw, unfiltered side of humanity, where the boundaries of decorum are shattered, leaving behind chaos and questions about the fragility of justice. Today we bring you two courtroom incidents that defy the expectations of calm and control. One features a grieving uncle whose heartbreak drives him to confront a convicted baby killer, while the other showcases a remorseless school shooter, turning a place of mourning into a stage for his cruel defiance. These are moments when justice is overshadowed by the volatile power of human emotion. Let's explore what happened, why it unfolded the way it did, and the lasting impact these events left behind. In Gibson County, Indiana, Quinn Bowes, a father convicted of killing his 3-month-old son, Parker Bowes, stands before the judge for sentencing. The atmosphere is heavy, with family members and onlookers waiting anxiously. Among them is Jeremiah Hartley, Parker's uncle, sitting quietly but clearly struggling with anger and sadness over the senseless loss of his nephew. Bowes admitted to causing the blunt force head trauma that led to Parker's death. He accepts a plea deal that results in a 25-year sentence, 19 years in prison, and 6 years on work release. The court also orders Bowes to pay for his son's funeral expenses. This sentence leaves many, including Parker's family, feeling that justice was not fully served. Lisa Hartley, Parker's grandmother, describes her grandson as such a sweetheart who smiled all the time and was just a happy baby. Her words show the depth of the family's loss. The tragic incident occurred in May 2018, when Bowes was arrested following an investigation into Parker's death. The infant had suffered severe head injuries, consistent with blunt force trauma, leading to his untimely passing. The community was shocked by the news, as such acts of violence are rare in the area. During the court proceedings, it was revealed that Bowes had a history of violent behavior, raising concerns about the adequacy of the plea deal. As the sentencing ends and Bowes begins to leave the courtroom, the tension finally breaks. Jeremiah Hartley, overwhelmed by his emotions, suddenly moves toward Bowes. Without hesitation, he punches him directly in the face, leaving Bowes bloodied and staggering. Gasps echo through the room as security personnel rush in to control the situation. Shouts and scuffling fill the air as Hartley is restrained. Later, Lisa Hartley, Jeremiah's mother, expresses her shock at what happened. Reflecting on her son's emotional state, the courtroom is thrown into chaos as officials quickly work to restore order. Security personnel subdue Hartley and escort him out of the room. Hartley faces legal consequences for his actions. He appears before the same judge who sentenced Bowes and is found in contempt of court. The judge gives him 179 days in jail. In addition, Hartley faces misdemeanor battery charges. Despite the legal penalties, many people sympathize with Hartley, seeing his actions as a raw expression of grief and anger rather than intentional harm. The incident shows the deep emotional pain that families endure after tragedies like this. While the court system aims to provide justice, it cannot fully address the overwhelming grief and frustration of those left behind. The courtroom, usually a place of strict order, becomes a space where raw, human emotions take over, exposing the complicated reality of seeking justice. The altercation also raises questions about courtroom security and how the system can better support grieving families. It forces us to consider whether legal outcomes alone can truly provide justice for those who have lost so much. In moments like this, the human side of justice becomes impossible to ignore. On March 19, 2013, the Geauga County courtroom in Ohio is packed with families, friends, and observers seeking justice. T.J. Lane, the 18-year-old responsible for the Chardon High School shooting, is about to be sentenced. The shooting, which occurred on February 27, 2012, left 3 students, Daniel Parmenter, Demetrius Hewlin, and Russell King Jr. dead, and 2 others injured. The victims' families sit quietly, bracing for the final step in the legal process. Lane, who was 17 at the time of the shooting, used a .22 caliber handgun to fire 10 rounds at a group of students in the school cafeteria. Daniel Parmenter, 16, was the first to succumb to his injuries shortly after the attack. Demetrius Hewlin, 16, and Russell King Jr., 17, were pronounced dead the following day. 2 other students, Nick Walchak and Joy Rickers, sustained injuries but survived. In the months leading up to the sentencing, Lane pleaded guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of attempted aggravated murder, and 1 count of felonious assault. His guilty plea removed the possibility of the death penalty, given his age at the time of the crimes. The atmosphere is heavy with grief, anger, and an overwhelming need for closure. For many, this sentencing is not just about Lane's punishment. It's a moment to confront the young man who robbed them of their loved one. Yet, amidst this solemnity, few could have imagined the audacious and cruel display Lane would put on that day. As the sentencing begins, Lane enters the courtroom wearing a white t-shirt. Written across the front in bold black marker is the word killer. Gasps ripple through the courtroom as Lane's choice of attire sends a clear message. He has no intention of showing remorse. His demeanor is eerily calm, almost smug, as he walks to his seat. The tension in the room thickens as Lane continues to exude a defiant attitude. When given the chance to address the court, he delivers a statement that shocks everyone present. He smirks, raises his hand toward the victims' families, and says,
"Saying pull the trigger to kill your son, masturbates to memory of you."
The room falls silent. Lane's words cut through the families like a knife, adding to their unimaginable pain. The family's heartbreak is visible. The blatant cruelty of Lane's actions leaves the entire courtroom in shock. Judge David L. Fury swiftly moves to finalize the sentencing, unwilling to let Lane's antics derail the legal proceedings. Lane is sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole, ensuring that he will never walk free again. While the sentence provides a measure of justice, it does little to ease the pain of the victims' families, who must now struggle with the lasting trauma of Lane's actions, both during the shooting and in the courtroom. His words and behavior leave a permanent scar, not only on the victims' families, but on the community as a whole. For the families, Lane's behavior during the sentencing is a cruel reminder of the depth of his depravity. The lack of accountability and humanity in Lane's actions only deepens their suffering. Despite Lane's shocking behavior, the families of the victims demonstrate incredible strength and resilience. Their determination to see justice served remains unwavering, even in the face of such cruelty. They stand together, united by their shared grief and their love for those they lost, refusing to let Lane's actions define their memories. These 2 courtroom incidents remind us that even in spaces meant to uphold justice and order, the intensity of human emotion can break through, leaving a profound impact on everyone involved. From a grieving uncle's heartbreaking confrontation with a convicted killer, to a remorseless shooter's shocking display of defiance, these moments reveal the fragile balance between law and raw human emotion. Courtrooms are not just arenas for legal battles, they are spaces where grief, anger, and loss are laid bare. Behind every sentence handed down, there are families seeking closure, victims hoping for justice, and communities wrestling with the consequences. While justice strives to hold people accountable, it cannot always heal the scars left behind. If you found these stories compelling, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications for more gripping tales from the courtroom. Until we meet again, remember to stay safe and keep informed. Thank you for watching.